How's it going, everybody? My name is Ged. This is Fabulous Flix. We are back to our regularly scheduled programming. With me, as always, Mr. Tyler, Rogue Leader. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Not too bad at all. It was interesting taking last week off. For the two people that are ever going to watch this, I figured it was Family Day, and we didn't need to stream on Family Day. We needed to do the family stuff on Family Day.
Yep.
What did you get up to?
Went out down by the river with a bonfire, hot dogs, chili dogs, snowmobiles, ATVs, that kind of thing.
Now, do you know the history of Family Day?
I'll tell you my version of history for it.
Okay.
Ontario didn't have a holiday in February, a stat holiday, so they had to get something to match some of the other provinces.
So I've always chirped Family Day,
Yeah.
and I don't know if this is true. I will look it up for next week. But from what I understand, Family Day, and I used to chirp it, I no longer chirp Family Day. There was a politician in Calgary whose son suffered with depression and mental health.
Yeah.
And not that I want to take this into a dark place, but you can probably see where this is going. And he chose a certain path. And Calgary was really the first to spark up Family Day, saying that we need a break in this dead of winter so that we can spend time and check on our family and check on our loved ones. Now, if that is the case, I will never chirp Family Day ever again, because I must admit, I have never thought very highly of Family Day, because I've always believed that Remembrance Day should be a holiday and not Family Day. However, hearing that story, I'm like, oh, I instantly take that back. That is a good call. So if that is the case, I will triple check it. But that makes perfect sense to me.
I will never chirp a stat holiday. But again, I'm naive or I don't pay attention. I really had no idea what the background actually wasn't. And if there is like a good reason like that on why you should actually take the time out, disconnect, be with family, maybe they got to do a better job maybe communicating that, or I don't know. Maybe they are. It's just not in the circles I peruse on the internet. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's something that, like you said, if there is a reason like that why Family Day exists, then I will change my statement and be very happy for it. Speaking of a roller coaster, the last two episodes of The Last of Us, I mean, we see everything from the blossoming of this relationship, and it's almost so predictable. When things are just going really well, you're just ready for the shit to hit the fan. So let's try and deal with this, I guess, chronologically. So a couple weeks ago, we finally see the reunion. What do you think of, other than the fact that it reminded you of every season of The Walking Dead before you turned it off? What did you think of the episode where we have the family?
There was a lot of aspects I liked, and I do have a couple gripes about the first episode.
Yeah, you mentioned that. What are they?
Yeah.
Talk to me about it.
Well, so this is the first time that I didn't really love kind of the decision and writing they did for Joel. Like we're only 3 months. Was it 3 months later? Was a time jump?
Yes.
Sorry, with a time jump, right?
Yeah.
So we're 3 months later, and all of a sudden we go from stone cold, Joel can handle any situation, to having basically mini heart attacks anytime he sees stuff going on. And that's not necessarily a thing I have my problem with. The problem is that I thought was a little out of character. Again, I haven't played the game, but just knowing what I've seen so far, it just felt really odd that he was just like willing to just give up, like just leave Elie. Like he was just like, just take her, like asking his brother to take her, just take her. I can't do it. Like I'm done. And then just to, you know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know. It didn't really resonate with me. And again, it totally might've resonated with you. It just didn't really hit it for me.
All right. Well, let me push back on you on this one a little bit. So until he gets to the community where he finds Tommy, what is his real reason for taking Elie?
to get her to the
Nope.
Fireflies.
It's to find his brother.
Well,
He's hyper fixated on his own
yes, but
selfish needs, right?
he promised Tess that he would take Elie, though.
Sure. And
that promise to Tess is very important to him.
okay, fair. But emotionally, his focus was primarily on getting to Tommy.
Yeah.
So obviously, over the few episodes, there's a bond that forms, and obviously he starts to care about her a little bit. And I think that when he sees Tommy, he's instantly hit with this realization, this reality that he is responsible for this person who not only could be very important, but that he's actually grown very fond of. And he hasn't felt that kind of vulnerability since his daughter.
Yeah.
Obviously there's that moment where where Elie brings her up. I agree that it was a little sudden. Yeah. But if you think about it, it makes a fair amount of sense.
Like I'd argue though that he was already feeling that way at the beginning, right? When the heart issue started was because anytime Elie was in danger, he froze. So that to me sells his relationship with her has grown so much. He sees her as a daughter figure. And anytime she's in danger, like same thing, like you said, it's a callback to his own daughter. And like, oh my God, like it can't happen to me again. I can't let this girl down.
Yeah.
So I feel like that. And then once he just Tommy, he's just like, just take her. Like I'm done with her. Like I get like he does the mean thing to her because he doesn't want to be all sad about it. Like that part was fine. It's just, I thought for me, I would have thought he was at the point where he would have done anything for Elie. And I know maybe giving her up to Tommy to give her a better chance might be the hard decision, but in the moment watching it, I was like a little bit like, eh.
Yeah, it's fair. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily disagree with you.
And I will say the lead up to this episode and throughout the episode, it was some of the best banter between the two of them. Like so it keeps selling the relationship that much more and that much better. So
yeah, it was really well done. And even up to the point where they leave. And they're on the horseback, like just seeing that relationship develop, and like it was just going so well that you're like, well, this is clearly going to turn into a dumpster fire. One of my favorite moments of that episode has to be in the cabin. The indigenous couple
in the opening,
are fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
they're so good. What, you gave him food? Yeah, he's hungry. Did you tell him the truth? Yeah. Like she's literally.
Are you telling me the truth?
Like they were amazing. They were so good.
Yeah, no, it was a great open, and a lot of the aspect of the episode was really strong, especially just like I said, the dialogue between the opening characters and Joel and Elie was just great. It was interesting to see. You know, he's been looking for his brother for so long, and kind of their reunion kind of turns to anger pretty fast. So
big time.
It was interesting to see that he, and I get why Joel's pissed. He's like, I've literally been looking for you forever, and you just stopped communicating because you decide because you met someone. Like you don't just stop trying to talk to your brother. Like
found a piece of tail.
Yeah, and like
you do also learn a lot about the influence Joel had over his brother, though. I didn't realize how casually violent Joel was. And I think that is really depicted in this, where, you know, in the first episode, you see things through Joel's eyes. When day zero happens and Tommy's the badass and he's got to get him out of prison. Yeah. But as this goes on, you're really starting to realize that Tommy was not the instigator. This was a Joel thing. Joel dragged his brother into this lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then when he tried to get out of it with his daughter, obviously Tommy was already down that path. So it was interesting to see that change. The partner, girlfriend, wife, whatever you want to call it, of Tommy, did you recognize her as Tara from True Bloods?
Yes. Yeah.
I was dying. I was waiting for her to like drop an F-bomb or just be like vulgar, because if you watched True Bloods, she's one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's definitely spicy in True Blood.
Yeah,
But it's it's I like seeing. It's nice to see characters who you spent a lot of time with in another show, and then you're like, oh, okay, they got some work and they're on a big show right now.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that's the first thing I've ever seen Tara in since True Blood. So,
yeah, yeah. And I thought she was. I thought she played her role really, really well.
did you ever finish True Blood?
No, and I
I don't
went
know.
back.
I gave up on the last season probably.
Oh, really?
I don't think I ever finished. It got really dumb.
Did it? Yeah, I got into season 2, so I kind of saw it through its prime. I confess it was early 2000s, so a lot of curiosity with Anna Paquin back in the day. I thought she was super hot. So when we found out this is
Yeah.
going to be a spicy show at
Oh,
HBO and there was going to
yeah.
be the
You
things
had
that
Snoop Dogg
HBO
writing
has in
songs
it.
about her, right? So
Yeah, so yeah, that was my original draw to True Bloods. But I am a big fan of vampire lore. I'm a huge Underworld fan. So my intention was always to finish it, but I did not.
yeah.
So you're saying don't bother? Is that where we're going with
No,
that?
well, I don't know. I it's been too long now, but I was always interested in at least how it ended, like what
Yeah,
happened to well, I guess Eric Northman's probably one of the more favorite characters in it, but
yeah. And they looked at
um
rebooting it, and it just got canceled apparently.
no,
Yeah, HBO has
yeah,
just scrapped it from the table. Okay, so before we get too
off
far
the
off on a
tracks.
tangent, yeah. So obviously we see how that episode ends.
Yeah,
Obviously a bit of a
cliffhanger.
shock because I mean, as
Yeah.
someone who hasn't played the game, I assumed he was going to die.
I was like, there's no other Ned Stark in us like before the last episode even comes. Like we're two episodes away, right? So I was like, these gotta survive.
Right?
You'd hope.
Yeah. And then what a cool ride we take on the second episode. The
Yeah.
night Ellie's life changes. Speaking of actresses who are doing other things, did you recognize your best friend?
No, I did not.
That is the sister in Euphoria.
I haven't watched Euphoria.
Oh, Euphoria is a very uncomfortably brilliant show. Like it is
Yeah.
brilliant start to finish, but
Yeah.
it is uncomfortable to watch sometimes. As someone as old as I am, it's very foreign to me in terms of
Is
your
Drake a producer on that? I think.
yes, Drake and
Yeah.
Future
Okay.
are producers on it. It's
Yeah.
really about like social media and sexuality and how kids are trying to navigate that in their own identity. And again, I'm 43, so I missed that.
I've seen some clips. I think I know the real reason why you're watching it.
Yeah, it is beautifully done, but it is very, very, very uncomfortable. But she plays Rue, who's Zendaya, she plays her little sister. So I was pumped. I was pumped when I saw
Okay.
her.
Yeah.
So we have the night that Ellie's life changed. First of all, what did you think of a flashback that you didn't really know was a flashback right away?
Yeah, well, when she was sitting in the thing, I figured it was a flashback, and then when we got about a quarter of the way through the episode, when we're still in the flashback, I'm like, it's kind of weird. We're leaving Joel just hanging there, and we're just going
Bleeding
through this
out on the
flashback.
floor. Yeah.
And then I'd say, like, again, I'm not trying to be critical, but like once it got going, it became pretty clear early on to me, at least. I'm assuming for most people that you were going to see the story of her first bite,
Yep.
and also she told Joel a few episodes ago that she's killed before. I thought it didn't show it, but
well said.
I thought I thought they were going to show it, but they didn't. But I think we could assume they spent the time together. She obviously doesn't turn, she does, and she has to kill her best friend / lover.
I did not put that together when I watched it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, that's again, like those are the two main things we knew about her past, and
Mhm.
it just once that story started going, I'm like, okay, they're telling us how those things came about. It kind of the episode kind of had a bit of a Bill and Frank vibe to it, as it consumed the whole episode, right? Like
Yep.
it just took over, and there was some cool kind of world building and scenes like that, like the whole when they first light that mall up. It was just like, yeah, the way that the set design and the cinematography thing was so
It was
cool.
incredible.
Yeah.
And the fascination of an escalator, electric
Yeah.
stairs,
Yeah.
having never seen an arcade, the conversation around Victoria's Secret. Obviously, the first indication I didn't really think about it was the first
Yeah.
indication that Ellie's interest in her friend was more than just her best friend.
Yeah.
But the conversation around that, I was dying. She's like, "It looks uncomfortable. Why
Yeah.
would people want to wear this?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Playing video games, going on I'm on a magical horse.
Yeah.
I love the ode, all of the music in
Yeah.
it, from the playlist all the way to the song that was on the carousel. Well, were
Yeah.
all 80s anthems, 80s pop anthems, which is
Yeah.
amazing.
Random question for you.
Yep.
Is A&W in the US or is it a Canadian only franchise? Because in that mall, there's an A&W in the food court. And it like,
So there's also a walk. There's also a
was
Manitou
there?
walk. Yep.
Because I know the show's filmed in Alberta, but that's like the outdoor scenes. I would figured like a mall scene like that, you could film it on any set. But yeah, I thought it was right beside the subways in A&W. And I'm just looking, I'm like, I thought A&W was a Canadian franchise. Like, I don't know.
I do not know.
Yeah, I thought it was a little
I am not sure.
strange.
You know what? But I'm curious enough to find out. Is A
Maybe
W
they have them in
Canadian
Wyoming, or no?
company?
That was Boston, right? That would have been Boston. A&W's in Boston.
Is A&W in Boston?
I don't think I've traveled a lot in the States. I don't think I've ever seen one.
Oh yeah,
It is.
Florida. Ironic.
I guess in the
However, there's
States in
nowhere
general.
that says it's in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Funny
But
enough.
they do have US locations though.
Oh, there is Wyoming.
But that was the flashbacks Boston,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. So there's in Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska. So there is no A&W in Massachusetts.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I wonder if that was filmed.
Because they would have I felt like they would have designed that on purpose. So it would be weird to put I don't know, maybe they were in Boston like years ago and they've closed since. I don't know. Anyways, it's just a minor point. It's just something that
Yeah.
caught my eye and had me thinking the whole time watching it.
Oh, that's fair. All right. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. I'm curious to know if there was A&W in Boston back then. There's definitely none now, only in Wyoming. Yeah, so great, really, really, really good episode.
And you just knew it was going to end, kind of how you said earlier with when they're riding horseback and everything was so easy. They even comment that you just knew them in the mall that was supposed to have a ton of infected and there isn't any, and they're having a great time of life. You knew it was something was going to happen.
Yeah, you knew something bad was going to go down.
Yeah. Although in
So
the
it
fight
ends
scene, I
off-
didn't really see them. I was that whole fight scene. I was like, oh, I think they stayed clear of the mouth, and then they both end up bit. So I was like, oh, I guess not.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we end it with her not deciding to leave Joel in a frantic thing to kind of save him. I mean,
I like that. I
Yeah.
like the ending, how it kind of influenced her decision on how she basically lost one friend and was on her own, and probably the fear of not wanting to be alone anymore, right? Over like, no, I'm doing whatever it takes to save his life.
Well, yeah, she says that at the end of that first of the of episode 6. Like, I can't do this without you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you stitch up a wound with adrenaline going through you?
I
don't
mean,
know if
now
I could.
she
I don't know if
probably
I could
could.
do it.
Remember, she's been through militia training at Fedra.
Oh, true. So maybe she's had a
she's
little
she's
medic
had some
training or
background.
something.
Yeah. Yeah, I loved her punching that girl out. That was hilarious. And
Yeah.
he was familiar. The guy who played Quan. He's been in a
Yes,
bunch
he's
of stuff. He was very familiar.
I think he's a veteran of the sci-fi stuff because I think I've seen him in quite a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to rate this? Let's just rate them together, unless you want to bust them apart.
No, we create them together. You want me to go first?
Yep.
I've been thinking about this for a while, and I find the rating for the show is tough because of previous episodes.
Yeah. Fair.
But for these two, I've kind of gone back and forth on a few. I'm probably at, let's say, I'll go 8.7.
I was in between 8.7 and 8.8 in my mind as well.
Yeah, I was going between 8.6 and 9. I was like, how
Mhm.
strong or how weak? But yeah, I think 8.7 is a pretty good, great, fair rating for those two
Mhm.
episodes.
And I'm going to join you in that rating. Nothing wrong with the episode. The
They're
reason I
solid, yeah.
wouldn't give it over 9 is it was, and this is not a bad thing, but it
Yeah.
was predictable.
Yeah.
The Bill and Frank episode, if you hadn't played the video game, like, to me, that was just a masterpiece, because I
Yeah.
didn't know how it was going to end, because it really had nothing to do with the main story. But you're
Yeah.
right, like, you saw everything going wonderfully with them on horseback, and you knew it was going to go bad. And you see these two girls having the night of their life, and you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. 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 Still solid. And again, I
Oh,
think
incredible.
I don't want to say like like I hate saying this because it shouldn't affect anything, but I almost feel like I'm starting now to get desensitized to like
How good
some
it
of the
is.
exactly how good it is.
Oh,
Like some of those emotional swings might not be as impactful with how great the first few were.
yeah,
And again, it's not anyone's fault. It's just how me as the audience member perceives it now, right?
yeah.
But still,
No, I
great
agree.
episodes, solid. Again, I don't think I've had any major complaints about anything we've seen so far. So
No, me neither. And you said there's two more?
I think one
Or
more.
was that the penultimate? So that was the
That
second
was the
last.
penultimate, yeah. So I think we got one last episode to see what happens with Joel, and I guess we didn't really touch on. So the Fireflies of Wyoming had packed up shop and they're gone. So
They're gone. Yeah.
they don't really know where to go. Although they had a map where it looked like they were reallocating everything at a certain spot.
They went north. Yeah.
So yeah, so they're gonna have to. I don't know. Do they do that journey next episode? We'll see.
In one episode.
And the other thing I thought too was like just going to that little community where Tommy was, like they almost killed them. You know what I mean? Before they heard their name, like, are they just gonna openly walk into like a Firefly like headquarters research? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, I
Remains to
mean,
be seen.
I guess they're expecting them, right? They know she's coming, right? I
I
think.
would think so.
What was her name from the beginning? Was it Marge? No. What was?
Oh my goodness. Her name was literally mentioned at the beginning of the episode. I know you're
Yeah,
talking about. Yeah.
yeah, the one who tasked them. I'm assuming she
Correct.
radioed in and said they're on their way. But
Yeah.
yeah,
All right. Well, until Wednesday, it's the mediocre batch night.
oh, but no, hey. The mid batch is second fiddle on Wednesday, my friend.
We have the launch of episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
They dropped another teaser trailer today and it was focused all on the two like ship battles. Oh man. I'm gonna like just out of pure glee excitement that whenever those episodes come, it's gonna get probably an insanely high rating for me.
So are we going to drop Bad Batch?
No, I think we'll do both. I don't know. I don't know if we
Take like
review.
30 seconds on Bad Batch. Well, still shitty. So on to Mandalorian.
Yeah, maybe we do. I don't want to do two separate streams, so we'll do a joint stream for both shows.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Bad Batch is probably going to fall a little to the wayside, I would imagine, unless it starts picking up. But we'll see.
Yeah, probably not. All right. Well, we will see you on what will be an epic Wednesday.
I don't think we've ever had two Star Wars releases in the same day. They better not be like. No, there's no way they're letting the Bad Batch go on break or anything like that. I wouldn't think.
No, I wouldn't think so.
No. Either
All
way,
right.
we'll be there for the Mandalorian at minimum. So
Absolutely. All right. We'll see you on
All right.
Wednesday.
All right, see you, buddy.
Cheers.